Welcome to the HFY Vault channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care. Commander Yarrick of the human fleet was known for his discipline and precision. But he had never faced anything like this before. The mission was supposed to be routine, investigate a distress signal from the distant planet Zrithia. Reports had hinted at alien survivors, possibly in need of medical aid. Yarrick expected a small group of humanoids hiding in abandoned ruins, scared and weak. What he found was far from ordinary. The moment Yarrick set foot on the planet, he noticed the strange, dense fog that hung low over the jagged landscape. The air was thick, almost electrical, and the ground vibrated faintly beneath his boots. His sensors picked up a life form ahead, one small, alone, and moving slowly. As he approached, Yarrick saw her. A young alien woman, her body delicate, her limbs trembling. One of her legs seemed deformed, bent unnaturally. Her movements were hesitant, almost painful. Yarrick's first instinct was hesitation. He had trained for many things: combat, diplomacy, first contact, but helping a disabled alien wasn't part of his mission brief. He turned away, intending to report back and continue the search elsewhere. But then, something made him pause. A faint, musical hum rose from the alien. It was soft, almost like a voice, but unlike anything human. Curious despite himself, Yarrick turned back. The alien woman had lost her balance and fallen to the ground. The fog around her seemed to pulse with energy. And in that brief, shocking moment, she stood, unclothed, not in a vulgar way, but with a vulnerability that spoke of trust, desperation, and raw truth. Yarrick froze. Her skin shimmered faintly under the dim Zrithian light, revealing intricate patterns, natural bioluminescent markings that pulsed like living circuits. Her eyes, enormous and iridescent, reflected a strange intelligence, and her lips parted in a soundless plea. Something within Yarrick shifted. He stepped forward, forgetting protocol, forgetting fear. He crouched beside her, gently covering her with his jacket. The alien flinched at first, then seemed to relax, leaning slightly into his warmth. You need help," Yarrick said, his voice rough but soft. He didn't expect her to understand, but her gaze met his with unspoken comprehension. Her name was Lyra, though he learned it slowly through gestures and simple words repeated over time. She had been stranded after a mining accident on the planet, left behind by her own people because of her disability. Alone for years, surviving on whatever she could find, she had adapted in ways humans couldn't imagine. Her limp wasn't weakness, it was a conduit for energy. Her body emitted faint electrical pulses, enough to power small devices, or, as Yarrick would later discover, to manipulate the environment around her. Over the next few hours, Yarrick realized how wrong his first judgment had been. Lyra was strong. Her disability had forced her to develop unique skills, hone instincts, and a resilience that most humans, and even trained soldiers, could never match. When he tried to lift her onto the transport shuttle, she refused. "I can do," she gestured to the uneven ground, her small body poised with careful balance. And she did. She navigated the jagged rocks and electrical currents with astonishing grace, leading Yarrick to hidden tunnels where she had found shelter and stored supplies. As they traveled, Yarrick learned more about her world. Lyra's people were a proud, technologically advanced race called the Zytherians. But their society valued perfection above all, leaving those who didn't meet strict physical standards behind. Lyra had escaped this cruel judgment, living alone in exile. She had survived storms, predators, and loneliness, yet her spirit remained unbroken. By nightfall, as they huddled near a glowing crystal that Lyra had found, Yarrick finally spoke the words that had been forming in his mind. "I judged you wrong," he admitted. I thought you couldn't survive out here. I was wrong." Lyra tilted her head, studying him. Then, slowly, she extended her hand. A tiny spark jumped between them: light, warmth, and a silent acknowledgement. It wasn't a human gesture of love or affection, it was connection, trust. The next day brought a storm, a violent surge of electrical energy that sent Yarrick scrambling. But Lyra didn't flinch. She raised her arms, and the currents around them bent, guided by the patterns along her skin. The storm raged, but they were safe under her control. Jarek's respect deepened into awe. This fragile, disabled alien woman was more powerful than most soldiers he knew, more capable than the tech-heavy fleet that had arrived to rescue him. Later, as the human fleet prepared to leave, Jarek realized something he hadn't expected. He couldn't leave Lyra behind. Not because she was vulnerable, but because she had taught him something profound: strength comes in many forms. Sometimes, the most underestimated beings carry the greatest power. He turned to her. "Come with us," he said. "We can help you, and maybe, you can help us." Lyra's eyes glimmered, and for the first time, Jarek saw a smile on her face. She nodded, a simple gesture, yet it carried the weight of survival, courage, and unspoken partnership. As the shuttle lifted off, Jarek watched Zrithia fade into the distance. He remembered the first moment he had seen her helpless, alone, and unclothed. He had turned away then. But now, he realized, turning away would have been the greatest mistake of his life. In the days and months that followed, Lyra became an invaluable member of the human fleet. Her unique abilities enhanced technology, navigated dangerous missions, and inspired humans and aliens alike. And Jarek? He never underestimated anyone again, understanding that courage and strength often came in the most unexpected forms. The first lesson he had learned on Zrithia stayed with him forever: true strength isn't always visible. And sometimes, seeing the truth requires looking beyond appearances.